guys, it's Reagan and welcome to the start of another reading vlog. And this reading vlog is sponsored in part by Brooklinen, which I will be chatting about a little bit later in this video. But hi! Hello! It feels so long since I've vlogged, and it really hasn't been, but I've been sick with a cold, which I still have. I've just been like laying low, and I've just been wanting to chat with you guys, wanting to vlog, so I'm just happy to be back on the horse, if you will. That being said, the TBR for this video I'm thrilled about. I've already started one of the books, and I'm so obsessed with it. And the other thing I'm so excited about in this video is I'm gonna be decorating, at least starting to decorate, for the holidays. It might be too soon for some people, I completely understand, but something about this year and last year has made me become a November holiday decorator. I used to be a staunch no decorating until after Thanksgiving, but now it's like holidays all the time, you know? I need the warm glow of Christmas lights in my apartment. But without further ado, let's chat about the two books that are on my TBR for this vlog. Spoiler alert to some new holiday decor, but I got this little Christmas tree for my desk. It lights up, how cute. I need to get batteries for it, but these are the two books I hope to read. The first one, and kind of my primary book for this vlog, is Caliban's War, which is book 2 to the Expanse series. I am already about 200 pages into this book, and I'm happy to report that it reads just as quickly as the first one. I flew through it. I was just so, I don't know, pulled in by this fast-paced sci-fi kind of space opera story. And the second one is kind of taking place and expanding on a lot of the events of the first one, but also introducing some new character points of views, whom I love very much. I'll talk more in depth about this in a bit, but I want to read the last like 376 pages of this. And then I also really want to start reading The Night Tiger by Youngshi Chu. I got the audiobook of this from the library, so I actually plan to listen and read to this in combination, especially while I'm playing Breath of the Wild, which I've just been making my way through as well. Breath of the Wild is such cozy times. It's such a good time. But I loved this author's other release that I read this year, so I'm really looking forward to this. I actually think I might like this one even more. It's just a magical historical fiction fantasy story set in Malaysia in the 30s, and it basically follows two individuals, a young boy and a young woman, and how their fates kind of get intertwined. I'm sure it's full of fantasy and folklore, and I can't wait. I'm hoping the audiobook is fantastic as well. But these are the two books I want to read. Absolutely intense, explosive sci-fi and beautiful lyrical historical fantasy. So yes. Right now I need to do a bit more work and also make lunch, which I will show you guys. I'm basically doing a bit of meal prepping for the week. But yeah, welcome to the start of the vlog. I'm so excited about both of these books so much. Cannot wait. And I also can't wait to start decorating for the holidays. It's gonna be a blast. Lunch prep for the week. I'm making turkey meatballs. Making a bunch, and then I'll just reheat them over the span of the next 3 days, which I'll eat with like broccoli, some sauce, some quinoa. Should be good. Love turkey meatballs. Meatballs are done and in the oven. And now I'm just gonna make the other parts of lunch. Lunch is done, and I have all these extra meatballs for lunch for the rest of the week. Turkey meatballs, quinoa, and roasted broccoli. Good evening, everyone. I've finished up work, which means I can finally get started on what I really want to do, which is starting the process of decorating for the holidays. I'll walk you through some of the stuff I already have. I have quite a bit of stuff I personally really like, but I do have some kind of more stuff incoming. It's definitely gonna be a work in progress. Mostly because Clay and I are getting a real tree this year. It's something we've always wanted to do. So we're not really gonna have a Christmas tree until after Thanksgiving, but we wanted to put some stuff up just now because we can. So I picked up a few kind of like lights that are still coming, and then I do want to get a few more like bottle brush trees, but I'm rambling. Let me walk you through everything I have now because I love it all. So again, this is not really counting any like Christmas tree stuff, but some of the stuff I've had, like this is from last year from Pottery Barn, but I have picked up a few new garlands. I got this, I don't know, I really liked it. It was like chunky felt. And I got this Christmas tree advent calendar pillow. This I've had for many years. It's from my mom. This is from last year. Those are from Target last year. And then I also picked up a new felt Merry Christmas banner, and that is a light up garland I'm gonna put up now, but I don't have batteries for yet. So this is kind of what I have at the moment. I have a few things I've pre-ordered that have just been kind of back ordered that are coming in later, so I'll show you as they come along, and some more things might be coming this week. But nonetheless, we can at least make some things a little more festive. So let's begin. So this is where I'm at right now. My plans, got a little derailed because I didn't know how big this garland was, which you'd think, because you know, the product comes with dimensions online, that wouldn't happen. But it's just so much bigger than I thought it would be. But I think it looks okay on this console, and I'm gonna hang up 2 stockings here. I just need Clay's help because I wanna make sure they're even. And then some other stuff. I just put this guy here for now, my little felt garland, and then I have a little Christmas tree forest thing on the coffee table with a pumpkin candle. And then honestly, I don't know what to do with my Merry Christmas banner. I thought I was gonna put it over there, but now it seems like that's way too much stuff going on. So I thought maybe above the couch. Millie has not been any help. I'm talking to you, but it's getting cute. It's getting festive in here. We're working on it. Hi friends, so as I mentioned at the beginning of this video is actually sponsored by Brooklinen, and I just made my bed this morning utilizing, of course, my Brooklinen sheets. I actually worked with Brooklinen earlier this year and actually got a new set for our new apartment, but I have actually been sleeping on Brooklinen sheets for years. Honestly, nothing beats the quality and price. The sheets are so soft and so incredible. Currently on my bed, I have the Brooklinen Luxe sheet set, and this set comes with everything you need for your bed: pillowcases, a duvet cover, and obviously a flat and fitted sheet. And the cool thing about the set itself is you can actually mix and match the colors you want. So depending on the style of your room, you're really able to customize whatever it is that you're personally looking for. I personally went with a combination of white and cream, so I kind of wanted like a hotel feeling luxe set. And I wanted something neutral, so if I wanted to add a pop of color, it would be super easy. Again, the sheets themselves are just so incredibly soft, and we really wanted to kind of give our room a refresh with our recent move. The great news is Brooklinen is actually having a fantastic Black Friday sale right now. The sale is already live on their site, and it's their biggest sale of the year. You're able to actually get any of their Brooklinen products for 20% off. No code is needed, it's automatically applied at checkout. Brooklinen sheet sets honestly make a fantastic gift, not only for yourself, but for your loved ones. Clay and I actually got Brooklinen towels as a gift last year, and they have been an absolute game changer. I will leave a link to their site down below, so be sure to check out and shop all of their amazing bundles and take advantage of this fantastic sale. And honestly guys, I'm telling you, I spend a lot of time reading in bed, and these Brooklinen sheets are next level comfortable. I will not go back. They are the softest. So again, big shout out to Brooklinen for sponsoring this video. I'll have all their information, again, linked down below to their site if you're interested in shopping this sale. But let's jump back into the rest of the vlog. Hi friends, I've reached a stopping point with decorating for now. I'm waiting for Clay to finish up work to help me with a few things, and then it's just waiting for a few other things. I'm happy with how it is coming together. I don't know, I always feel like in my head I have so much more space to decorate, and then I remember that I live in an apartment and there's only like so many places I can put things, but there's just so much decor I want. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm now gonna sit down and read Caliban's War. Again, I'm already on page 200. And I wanted to give you guys kind of an overview both of this book, this series, and my thoughts so far, because I have many. So again, this is book 2 to the Expanse series, which I would describe as like a space opera, like thriller in space. The first one, we primarily follow Holden, who is a captain of like a ship, and his crew basically gets wrapped up in this discovery, which kind of puts them in danger and also kind of acts as a catalyst of war between Earth and Mars. And basically in the sci-fi world, humanity has kind of expanded beyond Earth. People still live on Earth. Earth has its own government. There's a government on Mars, also a big military power. And there's also something called the Belt, which is like a collection of a lot of stations like far away from Earth and Mars. And in general, there's a lot of unrest there because they feel like they're being taken advantage of by the more powerful Earth and Mars governments. So in the first one, there is a lot of tension between all of these powers. And if anything, it almost feels like a tinderbox just like waiting for a spark. And Holden and his crew are basically that spark. Combination to this like interplanetary war that's happening, as well as this sort of like experiment gone wrong, wild, possible alien technology at play. There's also a murder mystery or missing case that we follow through another point of view called Miller, and he's a detective from the Belt, and Holden and Miller's paths kind of cross and their storylines intertwine. The story in the first one is incredibly intense. Book 2 takes place basically pretty much after the events of the first one. And please keep in mind, the events of the first one is basically all out war and like scrimmages between these powers. So the situation is very fluid, the peace is very tenuous. And some of the perspectives we follow again is Holden, who is again the ship captain, and we follow him and his crew as they're kind of continuing to maneuver through this particular system, and they're kind of involved in a variety of things. They kind of take up odd jobs, but what I'm really excited about in this one is we have two new perspectives, actually 3 new perspectives that we're introduced to. And the first new character we follow kind of intersects with Holden's, and their storylines merge very quickly in the beginning, and basically it opens up on him and his planet. He's like a PhD, he's a botanist, but his daughter goes missing along with some other kids, and his planet kind of like goes up in flames because there's a conflict between Earth and Mars, but the cause of the conflict is very unclear, and in fact it almost seems like a monster of some kind was on the planet, but obviously due to the past tension that has existed between Earth and Mars for like centuries, it's a very complicated political situation. But he is focused on trying to locate his lost daughter and is working with Holden's team to do so. So that's one of the storylines we follow. It's very intense, moving from place to place. It really does combine this sort of like immediate mystery that we're trying to figure out with finding May, his missing daughter, but also combining like larger military secrets and combat, which just creates so much tension and what makes this book read so quickly. But the other 2 perspectives we follow, I would say, are my favorites. I just love the introduction, not only of these storylines, but just the layers we get with them, and the characters themselves are awesome. The first is a very high-ranking official on Earth. Her name is Avasarala, and she's basically like the meanest, most cutthroat grandma who also knows exactly what she's doing and talking about. Like she's both hilarious and terrifying, and I'm obsessed with her in her chapters. Like very high ranking, like unclear what exactly her position is, but she's very important and very in charge politically. So much of her chapters is maneuvering politically, not only internal like Earth politics, but also working with Mars, and just kind of seeing this different point of view within this world is fascinating, and also just getting more visual into Earth is fascinating too. And then the other character we follow is Robbie, who is a Martian soldier who witnessed everything that happened on Praxis planet, and she was brought in by Mars to basically help with peace talks between Mars and Earth, but things became complicated, and now she's actually working for that high-ranking official on Earth, which is just a fascinating combination because obviously Robbie is not used to like, let's just say politics. She's a trained Marine, so this is a whole new field for her, and I think like her point of view in encountering everything is just so fresh. So yes, that's kind of where I'm at in book 2. So much is happening, and that's the thing about the Expanse series. They read so fast. Like every chapter is almost a cliffhanger. You're constantly being introduced to new information, but it's also like very digestible, but it's just fun to read because of how much is going on. And I really love that we have new characters and new settings. I think it kind of expands the plot and keeps the story fresh, particularly because honestly the 2 new characters are my favorite characters so far introduced in this series. I'm looking forward to reading more, and I just love the Robbie Avasarala combination. It's a wild combination, one that I wouldn't think worked, but man, it works. But I'm gonna do more reading now. I'm already on page 200. As I said, I've encountered a lot. there's a lot more to encounter, so let's read it. Because I wanted to think as little as possible tonight, I'm making just 2 trays. I'm sticking in the oven and they'll be done at the same time. I have some Italian Parmesan crusted, Italian breadcrumb, Parmesan cheese crusted chicken breast, potatoes, salt, pepper, thyme, and then Brussels sprouts with salt, pepper, and garlic. Cook at 400. Chicken will be done in like 30 minutes, everything else about 40. I'm gonna put it in now. How are we feeling about this, guys? Do we think it's too much? Does this garland look like a monster garland? The stockings, I think, are cute. What do we think? What do we think? Simple dinner is done. We are behind, but we're about to start episode 6 of Squid Games. We made milkshakes and I read 50 pages of my book, so success. Thanks, Clay. We have 2 episodes of Squid Game left. That show, so intense. So, you know, I thought I would leave that anxiety-inducing situation and enter a different anxiety-inducing situation and read more Caliban's War. Again, I already read 50 pages today, and I'm gonna try to pass the 300-page mark tonight before I go to sleep. I think this book is so successful because I feel like it's a combination of having Holden's chapters, which are very like ragtag group trying to solve this mystery, going headfirst into all these different locations, having this sort of scientific element of this monster that's on the loose, and is it tied to the sort of science that was present in book 1, and things like just move really fast. And I think it contrasts really interestingly to the very political chapters we get, that's very much about like small groups and councils and negotiation, where the fight is not so literally on the ground, but instead like fought through memos, emails, and like turn of phrase. But it's also somehow just intense for an entirely different reason, and I just think it just adds like a different element to this book that wasn't present in the first one. I just appreciate the pivot to include that sort of political element. Anywho, I'm gonna keep reading now. I want to know what's happening, because there's some stuff happening in Robbie's chapters and I need to get to the bottom of it. So good night, everyone. I will see you in the morning. Good morning, everyone. Just pouring myself a cup of coffee and I'm gonna actually do some more reading. Caliban's War left off on quite the cliffhanger by the time I fell asleep. My self-induced cliffhanger. So I'm going to do some reading now before work. Hi friends, it's me enjoying this gloomy day. I have my Christmas decor all lit up over there. And I'm also trying to stay strong and not buying a Christmas tree because I said I was gonna get a real one and I'm gonna really try to stick to it. That being said, I have read over 350 pages of Caliban's War by James A. Corey. And this series is just like, if you want something that's just gonna completely capture your attention and make it just so hard to put down, like this is a perfect series to pick up. I love reading. There's lots of books that draw me in, but there's something about this plot that's just non-stop that makes it just so fun to read and intense. And I will say the characters are definitely growing on me more in this first one. Particularly, I want to talk about Holden. So Holden is a carryover character from the first book. And in book 1, I thought he was okay. I do feel like we are seeing more sides of him in this book, mostly because we're seeing characterization of him having to kind of deal with the aftermath and the emotional impact and trauma of everything that went down in the first book. So kind of seeing his character have to confront, overcome, rely on other people around him definitely makes him feel a lot more tangible and just a main character that you want to root for. Other than that though, I feel like the other character point of views that have been introduced are just so likable and just cool, and I just feel like adds a lot to the story. I could go on and on about Robbie and Avasalara's chapters because they are my favorite. I just think it's fascinating and I think it's such a good move by James A. Corey to include. Obviously, we have this firefight chase of trying to find May and Holden's chapters and all sorts of stuff is going on. And I just feel like James A. Corey has so many different plot elements happening at one time that also seemingly feel connected in a way that you just don't fully fathom or understand. There's also a lot of carryover from what happened in the first one, namely this sort of biological mystery that's surrounding this monster that appeared, and obviously there's a lot of references to the first one, but we just don't know how it's tied. And just like the stakes of everything within this series are just so big. Like, we have stakes of like a personal quest. We're following a man like on a search, my lunch is ready, on a search to find his daughter. Like, there could be no higher stakes for an individual than like finding a lost child. But there's also like civilization level stakes, and we see these through the political chapters, we see these through Holden's chapters as they're trying to understand a new possible biological weapon that could be unleashed, and also following the tenuous relationship between Earth, Mars, and the outer planets, and all the people like fighting either for war or against it, and just every little thing causes a domino effect, and it just creates a fast-paced book, you know? And particularly, I feel like Holden's chapters have always been like really spicy, like right out the gate. Like with Prax and Holden, we've had like firefights, we've had close calls, we've had escapes. But seeing kind of the slow burn of Robbie's and Avasarala's chapters as she's kind of being thrown into this political quagmire, and Avasalara, who is a veteran in navigating something like this, is also kind of approaching an unknown situation, and seeing them work together and kind of relying on their different skills, because they are very different skill sets, and they're playing a very different game than both of them are kind of used to, is just fascinating. But my lunch is burning, so I have to go. But I've read 350 pages. I can talk about this book all day. I think I'm gonna start the Night Tiger audiobook later this afternoon as I work through some admin stuff. But it's all a great time. Another day. Matilda's mad because her toy is stuck. But another day. Another meatball, quinoa, broccoli bowl. Fresh cup of coffee, and Matilda being oh so cozy. She is saying, do not disturb. I'm taking a midday nap. Taking a bit of a reading break before I go all in on admin. And I really love that even my tissue box, because I'm still battling this cold, is even festive. It got the notice. I'm acting like it appeared in my life out of thin air. I literally bought this because it was Christmas themed. I don't know why I'm acting surprised, but look how cute it is. Great news, I've passed the 450 page mark, which means I read 250 pages so far for this vlog, and I am loving it. The storylines are starting to begin the course of intersection, which I just always love. Like in a plot forward book, it's always amazing when you reach that point in the story where the two disparate storylines are starting to converge, and you're like, ah, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be an explosion. Anyway, a little candle, just sitting here with my tissue box still. Anyone else being like personally victimized by the common cold? Because I've had this dang cold for a week. What is happening? Anyway, I think I'm going to do some relaxing with Matilda. I need to figure out what we're making for dinner. I'm just like I don't have like my full appetite just because I've been slightly under the weather, so I'm just not sure what we're vibing with, but nonetheless, Matilda and I are gonna hang out, aren't we? Yes. All right, I've decided on my comfort meal. I want Spam and rice and a fried egg and hot sauce. It just sounds so good. I will make my chicken and vegetables tomorrow, but tonight we feast. We feast. So I'm gonna fry this up, sit over there with Millie, and we're gonna finish Squid Games tonight, aren't we? Aren't we, Matilda? Yeah, absolutely iconic. I mean, name a better combination. You can't. And we're done. We got 90 Day Fiance on in the background, and we're gonna chow down on the final episode of Squid Games. The show is so good, but it also makes me so sad and angry and all the feelings at the same time. Ugh. All cozy in bed. And and by we, I mean Matilda and me, are going to do some more reading. Good morning, friends. I woke up actually starting to feel a lot better. Like, I feel like I'm on the mend officially, so really happy about that. I'm pretty sure the Spam healed me, so shout out to Spam. So I got up and I kind of wanted to harness this energy and just sort of get some chores around the house done. I did some cleaning, like I cleaned up my office, I cleaned like all sorts of things just because I just felt like things were piling up from over the weekend and stuff. And the other great news is I was able to read last night and a bit this morning before I started doing all the other things I was doing. And I only have 70 pages left of Caliban's War. I'm gonna finish it up. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm really excited about it. I will say the characters in the second one I like so much more. I feel so much more attached. Holden still sometimes annoys me. I'm like, you're such a character written by a dude. Sometimes I'm like, Holden, do I need this inner monologue? I'm not so sure. But everyone else I'm such a fan of, and I just feel even more attached. The first one was like all plot, I liked the characters, versus this one is continually like all plot, full throttle, and some characters that I am just truly obsessed with, and I hope they continue to be part of the rest of the series. So we'll see. I'll be really disappointed if I don't get more of these characters in the future. But anywho, I'm going to sit down and get some work done, make lunch, and then I'm gonna do hopefully a lot of reading in the afternoon. I obviously want to start Night Tiger, and I have the audiobook for this. I plan on reading and listening a lot of that tonight and tomorrow. But just wanted to check in and say good morning. I am up, I've been productive, and we're excited about it. Hello friends. So it's time for lunch. I'm importing some footage right now. I also took down the garland. I decided it was too much. I don't know. I'm haunted by my Christmas decor right now. But I am going to make some quesadillas, I think. I was just craving it. Some meat and cheese quesadillas. Should be a snap to whip up and should be tasty. So we're gonna do it. I'll bring you along now. Let's make some lunch. Obviously got 90 Day, before the 90 Day fiance on. I'm literally acting like this is some fancy meal, but I made some black beans and I'm now making quesadillas with black beans and cheese. It should be delicious. And I of course have some Cholula. Bon appetit. Yum, yum, yum. Yum. About to finally dust my mirror, but I'm actually doing some editing right now, enjoying my desk, which I will finally try to link everything and leave things linked in my description. Matilda is hanging out with me. I just carry this blanket from room to room, so she follows me from room to room. But that's what's happening right now. Clay brought me a smoothie also. While I was listening back to this vlog, I added some Christmas decor to my desk, and it's making me happy. Alrighty, the time has come. I'm gonna sit on the couch and finish Caliban's War, and then I'm gonna play some Breath of the Wild and start my audiobook tonight, which I keep saying over and over again, but right now, I mean it. So, let's put on the faux fireplace and get to it. I finished. I have read all 495 pages, or no, 595 pages of this book, meaning I have read 395 pages, so just under the 400 page mark. And guys, the ending of this book was amazing. I feel like I initially thought this book was obviously always really entertaining, but I was worried that it was kind of replicating some major plot points, like from the main conflict from the first one to the second one. But I do feel like I was able to pivot and more make it an extension of the plot from the first one. Like the issue didn't fully go away, but instead grew and also began to encompass more people. And with the additional points of views, we made this a system-based problem. It's not like just the Belters versus Mars versus Earth. Like now there's people from every government, kind of in some ways haphazardly at least aware and like sort of willing to work together. And the ending of this book was explosive, literally. And the real ending, like the last sentence, I'm like, what is going on? And it's cool to see how the plot is continuing to evolve, and like all of this biological ooey gooey stuff is going to continue to be present in at least book 3. And I also feel like the escalation of everything has been really effective, because in book 1 we were really like focused on like one place, one government, two people kind of both indirectly attached to this one place. In book 2 we now had multiple locations, multiple governments, multiple factions working against each other after the events of the first one and like the consequences of the first one. I just feel like things are going to continue to spiral, and I'm really looking forward to it. This series is just so easy to read. It's so explosive. It's just so gripping. I wouldn't say, again, it's perfect. Some of the characters sometimes, particularly Holden, can be like a little annoying, but just the action and just the intensity of the story, it's so hard to put down. And I do feel like this one was better than the first one, and I really appreciated that. Looking forward to book 3. I definitely want to read it soon. But for now, I'm gonna make dinner and ponder this story and then start The Night Tiger later tonight. So, yay! I'm so happy I finished it. Hi, another dinner of me just cutting up a bunch of stuff and putting it in the oven. Let's get it. When you may have broiled the sprouts a bit too long, we're gonna see how it goes. I think they'll still be good, as long as they're crunchy, right? Put football on, and I'm gonna take a minute to paint my nails. It's been a minute since my nails have been painted, so we're gonna do it. Nice little self-care moment, and I changed it to Survivor because Jeff Probst is a fave in this household. Hi friends, 3 episodes of Survivor later and a bag of Cheetos. I'm gonna go read in bed and play Breath of the Wild. I'm going to start the audiobook for Night Tiger, obviously read more tomorrow. I've read just under 400 pages, so I'm gonna try to read as much as I can before going to sleep tonight. And I've been wanting to play Breath of the Wild, but Survivor pulled me in. The season is very spicy. So anyway, I'm gonna do that now. Listen to the audiobook. I rented it from the library, gotta love Libby. And those are my primary updates. A true night of self-care, Survivor and Cheetos. Honestly, 2 of my favorite things. Everything is happening. I've started the audiobook and it's narrated by the author. Oh, my mom's texting me. It's narrated by the author, which usually I'm not a fan of, but Yongshi Chu does a I love her narration so far. I mean, I've listened to not very much, but nonetheless, only positive things to say. Hello everyone, good morning. Matilda and her bowl. I've been up, I'm dressed, I'm actually about to film a video, but I wanted to talk about The Night Tiger because I've read about 70 pages of this book last night, and oh my gosh, it is so beautiful so far. I was expecting it to be beautiful from a writing style perspective and just the setting and everything, because I've read another book by this author, but oh, it's just gripped me right away, and I just like know I'm going to just love it so much. But to give you kind of more context to what the book is about, it's basically set in the 1930s in Malaysia, and we're following 2 main perspectives. One is Ji Lin, and she is a young woman. She lives in a very strict household. Her stepfather particularly is very strict. And the book opens and she's basically working part-time as a dance hall girl outside of her normal apprenticeship as being a dressmaker to help pay off her mother's mahjong debts because she can't go to her husband to get money because of his angry and abusive temperament. And at the beginning of the book, she's basically left by one of her patrons this very gruesome souvenir, which is a severed finger. And she's confused, and she's also trying to return it and also understand like why she has it. And that's kind of her initial storyline. And then the other character we follow is Ren, and he is a young boy who basically has had an apprenticeship with this doctor for many years. He's really close with this doctor, and he basically promised him on his deathbed that he would basically reunite this doctor with his severed finger. And there's basically a time limit to this, because if a certain amount of time passes after his death, he will be like trapped to roam the earth forever. And so he's kind of traveling to try to find this. He's taken up another apprenticeship with a colleague of this doctor in hopes of trying to locate this item. Obviously you can see the connection between these 2 characters, but obviously they're living disparate lives for now. And I would just say immediately this book has pulled me in. The writing is so incredibly atmospheric, and the historical setting is just singing. I really loved reading about the Chinese Malaysian culture in The Ghost Bride, and that is definitely very much present within this book as well. Both of our main characters are culturally Chinese, but living in the same Malaysian town together, and just the elements of the setting are just so well written. Obviously, there's the British colonial aspect and all the other cultures that kind of make up the fabric of Malaysia, and so much of, I feel like, Yang Shi-chu's writing, and I still have a lot of this book to encounter, but she just weaves in so much history and folklore, and I feel like that's definitely going to be a huge aspect of this book. Honestly, it has a pretty gruesome like subplot line outside of trying to reunite this finger, and I'm pretty sure both characters kind of get wrapped up in some sort of afterlife ghost thing, is that there seems to be a tiger that is haunting the town, and people keep winding up dead. People don't really know why. But all of that to say, I'm really liking this book so far. I've only read 70 pages, but I just feel like it immediately pulls you in. I also feel like the shifting points of view is very successful. You just immediately feel for both of these characters, and I'm just wishing with all of my heart that they're going to be okay. And I just, again, the historical setting is just immaculate, and the writing is so beautiful. There's also an element of like medicine being central to this. Ji Lin, our main character, wanted to be a doctor. She was very great at school, but because she's a woman, her stepfather kind of prevented her from doing this, and her stepbrother, who she was really close with, is training to be a doctor. And then Ren was obviously an apprentice to now 2 different doctors and has been trained in the medical field as kind of an assistant. So I do feel like there's an element to the medical field also being pretty present in this plot, but it's so good so far. I'm really liking it. I have a feeling I might even like it more than The Ghost Bride, but we shall see. I know this one is, I think, more famous than The Ghost Bride, but nonetheless, I for sure plan to read more today. I'm rambling, but now I want to film a video and get some other work done, and then I will for sure be doing some reading. Oh, and the audiobook is incredible. It's narrated by the author, and I think she does a great job. I usually do not feel that way when authors narrate books, but I feel like Yang Shi-chu does a really fantastic job narrating her own book. Anyway, time to get to work. Just wanted to let you know I've read 70 pages. I've almost read 500 pages over the past 4 days. I'm also finally feeling better officially, so it's all positive. It's all positive. Success. Video is filmed. It's now time for lunch in a lodging. And you guessed it, meatballs and roasted broccoli is what's on the menu today. Listen, I meal prepped a bit this week, and honestly it was great. I love not having to make fresh food every single time, so I'm gonna whip that up now and enjoy. Taylor Swift and round 3 of this lunch with couscous because I ran out of quinoa. Afternoon coffee, very needed in this household. Making it through this Friday. I've actually kind of pretty much finished all my assignments for the day, if you will, and I think I'm gonna sit down with this cup of coffee, play some Breath of the Wild, and listen to the Night Tiger audiobook. Again, I'm already on page 60, trying to read at least 40 or 50 more pages until I end this vlog. I also got a new piece of Christmas decor I wanted to show you because I'm a fan. Look at this sparkly gold tree. Isn't it just so wonderfully tacky? I love it. It came with all the ornaments and everything, so I think I'm a big fan of this overall. 10 out of 10. Thriving. I got my book, I got my snack, I got Breath of the Wild. We're gonna have a grand old time. Hi friends, and welcome to the end of the vlog a few days later. Just wanted to come in and wrap up both the books I was able to read for this vlog. I actually have since finished The Night Tiger. I didn't finish it on Friday, but I finished it on Saturday. But obviously the first book I was able to complete was Caliban's War. I talked about this book at length during this vlog. I really loved it, even more than the first one. Can't wait to continue on with the series. Obviously, I did read about 150 pages of The Night Tiger on Friday, or by the end of Friday, and I really liked this book. Here's the thing about this particular story, is that I still love the writing, I love the idea, I love the historical setting. It also kind of has this thriller sort of driving plot. Like, there are murders going on in this small town, so while it has a supernatural ghost sort of component to it, it also has a very real and scary plot kind of encompassing all of our characters. The one thing I'll say, the romance is definitely a choice. Aspects of it I can see past. It is like a stepbrother, stepsister sort of thing, and it's definitely pointing to a specific folklore story, but ultimately I was a little bothered by the possessiveness and jealousy that was a primary component of it. Anywho, it was definitely just like, I wasn't expecting it. It kind of threw me off, and I kind of wish it was just handled a bit differently, especially as it relates to the jealousy and possessiveness. But anywho, the writing and a lot of the historical aspects of this book was still great, and that's everything I was able to read. So I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I will see you soon with another one soon. Goodbye.